Magazine. I am standing next to the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I am here with some of the engineers from Jeep and SRT, and we're going to have a quick chat with them about what makes this the quickest, most powerful SUV ever on the market. So this is a pretty cool piece. We're going to chat for just a second. These are our guys, Daryl and Paul, and they're going to give us a lowdown on what makes this such a special SUV.
So, obviously starting off, this is the first Grand Cherokee powered by the 6.2 liter supercharged engine, 707 horsepower, 645 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, top speed of 180 miles an hour, quarter mile 11.6 in 116 miles an hour. So obviously there's a couple adaptation changes we had to make. One thing was integrating a low temp radiator circuit into the engine bay, which cools the supercharger. We benefit from having additional cooling also in this front lower right hand corner where we integrated a oil cooler. So it's an air to oil cooler. The other corner we use a air scoop that feeds directly into the air box, which then obviously is a straight path right into the supercharger.
Within the induction system, we have a larger air box, and that feeds the large amount of air we need for the 2.4 liter supercharger displacement to continue to feed it from a power perspective. So, Paul, you want to take them around and talk brakes?
Sure. So, new to the 2018 Trackhawk is also a 400 millimeter front rotor with a 6-piston fixed caliper, which stops this vehicle from 60 miles an hour at 114 feet.
Some people have 15-inch wheels. We have 15.75-inch brakes.
Okay. So we've also got two different wheels available. We've got a standard wheel with a titanium finish. It's a 20 by 10. This is our lightweight option, which saves 12 pounds from the vehicle when we go to this lightweight version.
Is that 12 pounds total or 12 pounds?
12 pounds total for the vehicle.
Awesome.
We use a near net forging technology that allows us to minimize the amount of weight and still handle all of the stress of the handling applications.
295/45 ZR20 tires, Y rated for this particular application. Moving back, finish off kind of the exterior differences. Obviously, there's a slight difference to the rear of the vehicle, where we have our new rear fascia that accentuates our quad tip exhaust. The exhaust is brand new to this vehicle, tuned to be slightly more aggressive than what we've had in the past.
And that works with the extra airflow that you have when you have a larger engine displacement. You're going to get more power, you're going to get more airflow. So we're going to maximize the way we handle the back pressure and get the most performance sound we can from the vehicle. Our setup includes a crossover in front and a front and rear, both tuned to maximize the right performance sound.
I don't know if we want to transition to some of the
Maybe probably take a second to talk about drivelines,
yep.
Right? Because a really great part about the Grand Cherokee platform that we can start with here is it's our first opportunity to do a 6.2 liter supercharged vehicle with the ability to balance and control the torque front and rear and maximize the use of the traction available in whatever conditions. So Paul, you want to talk a little bit about how you guys optimize it and the different modes involved?
So starting off with the engine back, we've got a new transmission, new HP95 transmission for the added torque capacity. We've got a brand new transfer case with forged internals, meaning the front and rear sprockets are forged, a wider chain for added capacity. Once again, we do use an electronic clutch in that transfer case. Depending on which mode you're in, changes the amount of preload to the front axle. Anywhere from sending 60% of the available torque to the front, all the way down to like a 50-50 or a 30-70 split in track mode.
Wow, cool.
So it's all dependent on what mode you're in and what the vehicle response that we're looking for. Going further rearward, we've got a brand new rear axle with a 4-point mount, which helps react some of those loads. and upgraded half shafts.
And so that's all unique to the Trackhawk.
Yeah.
It is the unique.
Completely.
It is all unique to this particular vehicle. Yes.
Paul, did we talk about tires?
We did touch on them. We've got two different tires, like we kind of mentioned. We've got the Scorpion Verde, which is a 4-season tire. We've also got the Pirelli P0. They're both Pirellis, but the 3-season tire, which is an option, both of which are run flat versions of the classic Verde and the P0.
Cool. Very
So
cool.
one of the activities we had to do is go requalify all the tires for higher speeds.
Darn.
180, yeah. So lots of fun for us.
Yeah.
So we can take a look at some of the interior. I think we have
Yeah, why don't we try to do the interior, and maybe Paul, you want to go around the driver's side if you can get at it, and let them.
Do you want us driver's side or passenger side?
I'll
Yes.
pass it.
Yeah, why don't you guys go passenger side, and then we get Paul to jump in where he can take you through the controls.
So we've got Trackhawk embossed in the all the seats. We've got the sill plates that also have the supercharged logo. Going to the Uconnect screen that we've got here. We've got two different radios available to us. We've got a Harman Kardon system, which is an 18 or 19 speaker system. We've also got an Alpine with 9 speakers available, which is the standard. Both systems use ANC, which we have used to also help the driver experience by tuning out some of the different, basically quiet the cabin down under different conditions to make it more enjoyable for the customer. We've got the different drive modes, like we referred to earlier, with respect to the way that we manage the transfer case. So obviously we key up in auto. We've got the sport, track, then going back to snow, and then tow. Each one of these you can go into the modes. If I can get auto set up, and we can actually customize it within the mode itself. We've also got a default custom mode that we can go to and do the same thing as a quick reference.
So Paul, in addition to your traction, you've got the ability to manage your steering and your active suspension from these drive modes?
Correct.
And maybe that's a chance to talk a little bit about what the difference between the steering and suspension for street and track would be.
Right. So, as Gerald said, if we look at specifically suspension, we've got a street, which is going to be more of a comfortable mode to be in. Sport, which gets slightly more aggressive, and then track, which locks the suspension in its firmest, most aggressive mode, which is mainly going to be used for the track application, which optimizes the performance. You've got the same options available in steering and stability control, which progressively get more and more aggressive with respect to steering. Stability control will actually start opening up the available limits and actually make the vehicle more capable on the track and actually more fun to drive. Transmission does the same thing, becomes more and more aggressive, starts making the shifts much more crisp, and you start feeling it a lot more.
So we want to take them through performance pages.
Thanks.
We have an
Yeah, let's talk
unprecedented.
about that.
Yeah.
So going to the performance pages, you can get to them. There's a little quick button up there. I get to the performance pages as they load.
So we find our
That's going to lead to a lot of
customers really like having the
bench
feedback
racing
and see
kind of
what's
thing,
going
yeah.
on in the car.
So your home screen is actually semi programmable. This is what we had it set previously. So if I pick on a particular feature here, I can actually change that position to reflect something different. So you can actually change your home screen to whatever you want as a quick reference. If you want to expand upon that, you've got an additional gauge feature here, which you can go through all the different screens and see all the different options. There's a timer screen, similar to what we've had in the past, 0 to 60 times 60 foot times, you know, all the classic measurables that people are after. Go to a G-force screen, which gives you a traditional G-force circle. So as you're driving, it'll show you the instantaneous, and it'll also show you your peaks and a little bit of a history to it as well.
And all of our friends that always wanted a dyno screen, we finally decided to help.
Yeah, skipping down to the dyno screen. Obviously, we're keyed off right now, but this will give you both torque and power on the upper limit, and then show you your current gear position on the lower.
Cool.
So and
it saves time. So across the time, you'll be able to get you know, several minutes worth of data and availability to see what you've been running.
Right.
It makes it fun for us, especially when you're driving the car hard. You can see if you really, you know, get improvement out of various laps, and you know, you should have got harder into the car before I got into that corner, and so forth. You can see some of the data.
you have the option of also doing a snapshot of a particular screen, which then you save to a USB port. So
cool.
So it's something that you can save for later. There's also this engine screen, which gives you instantaneous measurement of both your horsepower, torque, and once again, the amount of boost.
Cool. Very cool.
So that's kind of a quick overview of our performance pages.
Fantastic.
And then I suppose the engineers should point out some of the pretty parts we made. Of course, we're
Absolutely.
more excited about the numbers.
Yeah.
But right in front of you, you've got our new carbon fiber.
This is right here, where you get more of a silver stitch within the carbon weave. That brings it out quite a bit and gives you a little bit more depth to it as well.
Very cool. Genuine carbon fiber, yeah?
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah, that one's a very unique finish for carbon, right?
Also love
jumps
that.
out good.
That fat steering wheel with the flat bottom and the thumb
Correct.
rests.
Yep.
Pretty
So
fantastic.
the historic SRT flat bottom wheel with the new Trackhawk insignia and finishes. And then we've maintained the premium finishes throughout the vehicle. We're sitting in Laguna leather,
Okay, this is Laguna.
fully wrapped.
Cool.
IP. And
And within the IP, you
Yeah,
still
Altera.
keep some of the carryover performance timers that we had before. We had the 0 to 60, 0 to 100, and so forth.
one
I
place
mean, a
to
lot.
take data is good, two is better.
Yeah.
So this is
That's the way
instead
we
of
feel
looking over at the radio, you can actually bring up the screens right here.
Very nice.
Well, do we have any questions from any of our Truck Trend or JP readers? We're gonna walk around the car for a couple more minutes, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And particularly now, while we've got the subject matter experts who know everything about this vehicle. So we'll just walk around and do some more beauty shots. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will attack Daryl and Paul before we turn the video on. Just from the front of the vehicle, just get some beauty. Do you know when it's going to be on sale and when pricing might be released?
I honestly don't know. We're engineer guys. I know that we're looking at late this year for market implementation.
Okay.
Pricing will be brands will be able to do that.
Very cool. So that was pricing isn't yet available. It was promised by late this year, so we'll be in your dealers probably by the end of the year. And once we get closer to that, we'll be able to chat with the Jeep people and figure out how much money it's going to be. Plan on spending a little more than the SRT though, for sure. Any other questions?
Does this only come in automatic?
Yes, this is going to be the 8-speed automatic, right?
Yes, correct.
We have 8-speed automatic.
We do have paddle shifting, gives you lots of driver control.
But you might have to wrestle with a pretty nasty clutch. It's a lot of power to have to rein in. Let's do some Let's go around that.
How was horsepower rating? Or what was?
This is a 707 horsepower, 6.2 liter supercharged V8. And again, price hasn't been released. Thank you for asking, Sanket. All right, we're gonna sign off, but thank you so much for your time. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, please continue to ask, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks so much.